Hey guys, Eric Crutchfield here, Eric Epic 23 on Instagram, on YouTube. A real estate developer. I want to tell you a little story about my back life growing up. Graduated high school, 3.2 GPA, lost, didn't know what I was gonna do. Went to community college, made 3 Fs and a D my first semester. I was like, this shit ain't for me. Couldn't do school anymore. Like, what am I gonna do? So I went and got my EMT. I was gonna become a fireman. At the same time I was getting my EMT, I met a couple of wrong friends, started hanging out with the wrong friends, started selling drugs, sold drugs for a long time, made a lot of money. That was my first entrepreneurial venture. I was selling drugs, selling steroids actually. I would fly to San Antonio from Oklahoma, rent a car, drive across the border, and I would pay Mexicans, they're called mules, to tape steroids all on their bodies and then walk across the border. I would meet them on the other side in America, take all the steroids off of them, put it in a backpack, load it in the car, and I would drive to the second checkpoint. There was 2 checkpoints. Once I got to the second checkpoint, I would pull over right before it and I would hide all the steroids in the ceiling. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Then I would drive past the second border and I would drive all the way to Oklahoma. It's like 16-hour drive or something crazy. I remember falling asleep all the time. I was like, man, I stop and get energy drinks. I was still so tired, I'll be falling asleep. So yeah, that was my entrepreneurial first journey. Got me into working for myself. I built that up pretty big. Got, some run-ins with the police a few times. Got arrested a bunch. Got in trouble, got probation. A year into my probation, I caught a manslaughter charge. Manslaughter charge sent me to prison for 10 years on a 10-year sentence. I was 27 years old at this time. So basically I sold drugs from 18 to 27. From 27, I went into prison. Didn't get out till I was 35. Got out of prison on parole. Did about 2.5 years on parole. Got out. While I was in prison, I was still acting crazy, still thinking criminal. All I wanted to do was make money, but the only thing that I really knew how to make money was doing things illegally. So I was in there still like creating business plans. I was like 2 years in prison still creating business plans of how I was gonna get out and make all these millions of dollars illegally. We got put on lockdown for like 2 months and they let us go to the library and pick out books. Lockdown is where something bad happens on the prison unit that you're at and they lock everybody down. Nobody can move, no movement, no chow, no showers, no nothing. You can't move, you're stuck in your cell. So they let us go to the library and get books because we're stuck in our cell 24/7. We got sack lunches in little Johnny bags. Little Johnny sack lunches are like bullshit sandwiches. Turkey and cheese and bread. It's pretty bad. You lose a lot of weight because you get 0 calories, maybe like 200. So yeah, went to the library, probably never read a book in my life up until this point. But hey, I'm on lockdown, I have nothing else to do. Extremely bored, nothing to do. Well, I went to the self-development section while I was in lockdown. I was in the library, went to the self-development section, just picked out a book, it's pretty thick. It was called Unlimited Power by Tony Robbins. It was a really good book. Finished that book. It had all kinds of like little worksheets in the book. I was doing everything. I didn't have nothing to do. Like I said, I'm on lockdown, 24 hours, can't do nothing. All you do is sit in your bunk and just do whatever. So I just read and did these little workbooks, worksheets, whatever it asked me to do. Think about the 3 richest people you know. I was like, all right, 1's in oil, 2's in real estate. Blah, 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 blah. So at that point in time, I was already locked up 2.5 years, and it just had me keep doing all these little worksheets and like opening my mind and opening my mind, opening my mind. And by the time I was done with that book, I was kind of hooked on this personal development stuff. So I went back to the library, turned that book in, got another book by the same author called Awaken the Giant. Awaken the Giant was the same type of book, different worksheets, different work type of books, but it still like just opens your mind to different things. And I learned a lot through those books because I didn't know too much besides selling drugs and barely making it through high school, even though I graduated with 3.2. I read that Awaken the Giant book, And I just started thinking, and I said, man, I really remember that those questions that it asked me about the 3 richest people, 1 was in oil, 2 was in real estate. And I made up my mind from that point on. I said, I'm fucking doing real estate. I want to do real estate. That's what I want to do. So from that point on, I was in prison a little over 7 years. For the next 5 years, all I did was consume real estate books. I got every book I could possibly get my hands on real estate. Not only real estate, on business, anything business, personal development, any non-fiction book. I didn't really like fiction books. I like non-fiction. I wanted to learn. I used that time that I was locked down and in prison, the whole time I was down, for the next 5 years, to just read and study like it was fucking college. So I read everything I could, all the real estate books. Any birthdays, any holidays, any of my family, friends ask me what I want, I'm writing them, telling them, hey, send me, Art of the Deal. Hey, send me Rich Dad Poor Dad. Send me the next book he wrote. Send me every book he wrote. Send me everything. Anything has to do with real estate. Just pick it out, send it to me. So yeah, I read a bunch of real estate stuff, bunch of multifamily, commercial real estate stuff. And I was ready, man. I was hooked. I would stay up all night, like couldn't sleep, because I was so excited to get out of prison so I could just get this real estate journey on the way. I would stay up just studying, like, magazines. Forbes magazines used to come out. I had a subscription to Forbes magazines, and they used to do Donald Trump's assets every year. And I would have all the magazines out, and I would just be like analyzing like his net worth up and down, why it went this way, why it went that way. I was a maniac in there. I didn't have nothing else to do. I mean, you're in prison, locked down, not even on lockdown, but you're basically locked down all the time, so you don't have nothing to do. You stay out the way and you just learn. That's the way I looked at it. So that's what I did. Fast forward, I got out of prison. Yeah, in prison, I was studying all the magazines. Then I'm reading all the personal development books. It's telling you to visualize, manifest, say all these manifestations in the morning and that, whenever, all the time. Fuck, I was doing everything. I made a vision board. I had all the magazines, to all, like Inc. magazine, Forbes, Fortune. There's like some startup magazines, I forgot what they're called now, but Fast Company. Anyway, a bunch of entrepreneur type magazines. I was reading everything. So anyway, I made a vision board. I would cut everything up. I had yachts, jets, fast cars, big houses, jewelry, designer clothes. I mean, my vision, I probably still got it in here somewhere, actually, at my house. I had it everywhere. And I would go through it. Every night I would look through my vision board and I was like, man, I'm going to do this. I know it. And I was so excited to get out of that place. My mind was made up. I'm not going back to drug deal. I'm not going back doing anything illegal. I'm changing. Those books opened my eyes and like let you know that there is another route. You can do it. You got to believe in yourself. You got to visualize. And you just got to make it happen. That's it. You got to make it happen. You got to do it with you just got to fucking do it with no plan B's, right? You got plan A and you're going to stick to it until it succeeds. That's it. So that's what I did. So I get out of prison. So I had all this book smarts on real estate, but I still didn't know shit. I thought I knew something, but I still didn't know anything. I get out and I'm like, fuck, I don't even know who to call to. I don't even know who to call to fix the tile. Like, how much do I pay the guy? How do I negotiate with the guy? I don't know. How do I even fucking patch sheetrock? How do I patch drywall? Like, I don't even know the process. Well, luckily there's a lot more information now that you're out. Now I can watch YouTube, which is full of shit. So I would watch YouTube, like how to fix sheetrock, how to lay tile, how to do this. I fucking consumed everything. Podcasts, more books, more podcasts, more YouTube. And then finally I bought a house to flip. One of my buddies kind of held my hand through it, helped me with some of his workers. And I just was sitting there soaking it all up like a sponge. I learned a lot from that first flip. Ended up making $53,000 on that first flip. I think I bought it for around 200 to 220, put like 40 grand into it, and sold it for 320,000 minus closing fees and commissions. I ended up with like 50-something thousand in my pocket. I'm out of prison like 6 months. When I got out the gates, I had $150 that they give to you. 6 months later, I got $53,000 in my account. So after I saw that, I'm like, fuck it, let's double down. It's time to double down. This shit's real. You can make money in it. All right, all the books are true. So let's double down. So I bought another house to flip. Well, that house ended up turning into a new construction. I know I talked about this on my last YouTube video. It was just a little small, ugly house. They were building 4-story townhomes on the whole street. So I decided, hey, I don't want to flip this house. I want to go ahead and demolish it and build brand new, just like they're doing on the whole street. So that's what I did. So that's when I learned all the lending and how the new construction works. And once I followed up, or once I finished with those, with that duplex that I built, now I had all the numbers. I had the expense sheet. I knew everything, and all I had to do was replicate it at that point. So then I replicated it 2 more times, and I built 6 units, 3 duplexes. Ended up making like $500,000 on that. Then I dumped it, buying more lots and more lots and more lots. I did that like for 2-3 years before I bought anything fancy, any jewelry, any cars, anything. I was buying, hell, I bought rental houses. I was buying rental houses cash for like $80,000, fixing them up for like 20-30 grand and renting them out. That's when I started learning about the refi, and I can do the BRRRR strategy, refi all my money out and do it again and again and again. Now I got almost 90 rental houses. But yeah, I was just scaling. I dumped all that money into scale, got big, and then I started making a lot more money, and that's when I went and bought all the cars and the jewelry and all the stupid stuff. But yeah, that's kind of how my journey went, you know, from growing up in small town of Oklahoma to selling drugs to moving to Dallas, Texas, to having a bunch of run-ins with the laws, to catching a manslaughter case, to going to prison to change my life, reading those books that changed my life. It awoke the giant, and I was off on a whole new era. Becoming an adult up until now. One thing that I've learned along the way is ain't nobody's gonna come save you. It's up to you to fix your life. You know, even if your dad didn't teach you, your dad wasn't there, your mom couldn't teach you, whatever it was, whatever your excuses that you make, ain't nobody cares. You gotta get out there and seek the knowledge that you need. You gotta go out there and make it happen. You need to hire the mentor or the coach. You need to go to the library and the bookstores and buy the books. You are your own destiny, and you have to change your life. So when I was sitting in the prison cell, down, and I was like, fuck, how'd I end up here? I ended up there because of my actions and my choices. That's what led me to that. So now I decided to change my actions and my choices. That's gonna lead me somewhere else. So now all I do is positive shit. I go to church, I read, I study, I think, all positively. I don't have any illegal behaviors going on in my mind, no negative thoughts. I try to stay positive all the time. I try to think about gratitude. I try to think about all the many blessings that I have, and that keeps me on a positive plane. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I learned while I was in prison. It's just that you got to take control of your life and don't let life control you. Because if you're just going with the wind, you're going to end up with the wrong folks and end up in prison or dead or doing stupid shit. And 10, 15 years down the line, you're still doing the same old thing, broke, struggling. When it doesn't have to be like that. You can make the choice now to change. And all you got to do is change your behavior. Make positive actions. And that's going to lead to something positive later on. That's what I learned the most about that prison experience. Now where I'm at now, been out of prison about 5 years. I've achieved a lot of stuff, sold a ton, multi-millions of dollars worth of shit. I've developed multi-million dollars worth of shit. I've owned multi-million dollars worth of real estate, rental houses. I own multiple businesses. And I've done all this in 5 years, fresh out of the penitentiary with $150 to my name. So moving forward, the next 5 years, I'm super excited because all the stuff that I've learned the past 5 years, I'm about to just take that and scale and challenge myself to do even bigger things. So yeah, even though I'm building, $3 million houses now, I'd like to build $10 million houses. I'd like to build a $30 million commercial building. So we're just gonna keep scaling up, learning, taking what I learned, scaling it up, challenging myself, meeting the right coach, the mentor, partner, somebody that can bring something to me and I can bring something to them. And we take it up from there. But yeah, it's not stopping. I'm not stopping. My mind's made up. We're going to continue to make a lot of money in real estate, and I'm never going to give up. That's where I see myself in the next 5 years. Bigger skyscrapers, bigger yachts, bigger boats, bigger jets, bigger cars, more expensive stuff. That's about it. I want to leave a legacy. I want to change my name. You know, I don't want to be known as the dude that went to prison for manslaughter and got out. I want to change my whole past life into like, no, that dude is one of the baddest real estate developers fucking in the nation. He's top-notch real estate developer. He does the biggest shit. He does the nicest buildings, the nicest homes. So that's what I'm set out to do. I want to leave a legacy, Crutchfield Custom. That's what I'm here to do. I ain't going anywhere. I appreciate everybody watching. We're gonna drop videos every Thursday. Hit the bell, subscribe. Make sure it notifies you as soon as we drop the video. I'm gonna continue to give out strategies and coaching on real estate and everything that's helped me, tips and tricks. This is the YouTube channel for real estate development and my life. So continue to tune in. I'm gonna help you guys out.